Hi, Kalini.
Hello, Michelle. It's so lovely to be here with you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Welcome to the Crystal Cabin for the Network She Health and Wellbeing Academy. It's absolutely lovely to meet you. I'm looking forward to hearing all about your business. Do you want to introduce yourself and let everybody know what makes Kalini happy?
Well, that's quite a lot of things actually that make me happy. But first of all, I'm married to David and I'm a mum of two. I've got Martin, who's 28 now, and my
Wow.
daughter, who's 23. He's a management consultant and she's a medic. And I'm very much a family person. So I would actually say, if somebody was to say what makes me happy, find nothing better than spending quality time with them. We are very close. And I would say, actually, my family is my happy place.
Yeah.
I'm very sporty. We were a very sporty family. I used to be very, very sporty. We love doing sports together, like playing tennis, and I'm also very much into people. So I've just been away for the weekend with a good best girlfriend, and
Oh,
we love socializing, interacting online and stuff. And I think one other main thing which people possibly don't know about me is I've got a theatre background. So I actually direct shows and I am also a performer. So I've been doing that for about 25 years now. So it's quite exciting. And that's how I got really into doing a lot of stuff with young people, because I direct youth theatre productions in particular. So
wow.
I have lots of things that make me happy.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you from, Kalini?
So actually, well, I'm living in Macclesfield, Bollington, Macclesfield, Cheshire, but actually I'm originally from Guyana, which is the north coast of South America. Again, people from my ethnicity don't really know. And when I was born there, and then I went when I was 2 to live in Barbados. And grew up in London, so I've been all over the place really. And yeah, but I live in Macclesfield at the moment, so it's not too far really, and I come
No.
across to Anglesey a lot.
Yes, I'd seen that you've been back into to Anglesey. Tell me a little bit more about your background. That was fascinating where you touched from your theatre background there. Tell us about that.
Well, I absolutely love directing in particular, and as I said, so what I did was, I think I started with my drama academy. I set that up in 2007, and it was a youth theatre group, and it was all helping them with the confidence, communication skills, presentation skills, that sort of thing. And so it was through that then I set up another not-for-profit youth theatre group called Signets, and that's the group that I actually have developed a lot, and we do quite a lot of things to develop young people in terms of, like, we do the drama, we do musical theatre, and then we've just recently set up this project called the Jigsaw Project to help them with employability, but I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But
Yeah.
it's lovely actually. But I also, a little known fact about me is people don't know that I'm actually a qualified solicitor. And no. So what happened was I studied to be a solicitor. My father was a solicitor, my 2 brothers were, uncle was a barrister. So it had a family business, and I grew up in London doing this. And then I got married to David, and it was really difficult with sort of like managing a family and the long hours. So I didn't actually pursue that, and I then got into sales and marketing. Hence, like, all of the stuff I do on presentation skills
Yeah.
and communication skills. So it's sort of like I've got quite a varied background really.
Yeah, but that's good grounding though, isn't it, for you to go off and be self-employed when you've covered so many different aspects and industries.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fascinating. Oh, super. So introduce us to your business, what you do today, because there's so many things to your business.
Well, yeah, I do wear a couple of hats, and I think so. What inspired me first of all was, I think, from the sales and marketing side of stuff. So I used to do a lot of training. I used to train my teams, and it was things like, helping them how to present, how, negotiating techniques. I used to basically just do a lot of training with all sorts really, and then that helped me then when it got to my drama academy.
Yeah.
With drama background. So from the sales and marketing side, I then started training more, and I now focus a lot on confidence, communication and presentation skills training, and that's been one side of my business. And then the other side of it is through setting up the drama academy. it was working with families and young people, and they started realizing parents would bring children to me saying they're lacking in confidence, but actually I wanted to dig deeper and find out what it was that was causing the lack of confidence. And it might have been bullying, or it might have been that they're just really children are very confident in different settings. So confidence is a very strange thing. You could be confident at home but not confident in a new setting, or confident speaking to people. So I felt I wanted to learn more, so that's when I started training, and I did my youth coaching qualification, parent coaching, and I've done specialisms in confidence and resilience coaching, mindset coaching. So I've done quite a lot of other things just to build my skill set up so that I'm working with adults and young people, and that's been really lovely actually.
So much to offer for people. People always want to know, great, that's what you do, but how does it benefit me? So with it all, you're just describing everything around the confidence with children. What was it that made you go down the route with children? That's fascinating.
Well, I think it was, as I said, when I was finding these young people who would, like, I worked with a child who was, for example, selective mute. I've worked with a couple of children who chose not to speak, and usually there's some form of trauma that's caused that. I've worked with children who were sort of like had stutters and stammers, and because of my vocal coaching training, what I could do is I could actually get them to use diaphragmatic breathing or different techniques to actually help them. And very often at the root of a lot of challenges is this lack of confidence. But then you look deeper and you see it's actually maybe something that's happened to them. They've got limiting beliefs. Your value system starts to develop with young people from the age of, like, say 2 to 3, maybe by 5 or 6 or 7 that's quite well established. And what was happening was by the age of, like, probably sort of 12, it's quite well ingrained. And that then leads to us and all our own insecurities as adults. And so I really wanted to get to the nub of, I do solution focused coaching, but at the same time, it's really nice to understand what it is that's caused it. And so actually to get to the root cause and maybe see if we can actually overcome those limiting beliefs, overcome those things which are that negative inner chatter that you're hearing. In fact, I can introduce you to my chimp.
Go on then, who's Chimp?
And who I went working with young people. I call him chocolate chimp, but chimp is chip cookie. But one school, and it's that negative inner chatter on your shoulder.
Yeah,
that's holding you back often. So yeah, he's my chimp, which I use when I'm working with young people. But I love working with young people because I think that they're our future, and and I also have this 360-degree approach with anything I do anyway, which is that if a child is struggling, the parents and the family will struggle because they are the ones who've got to help them, support them, nurture them, pick up the pieces, and support them through any of the challenges they're facing. It's like, I know at the moment, like with children going back to school and COVID, parents are the ones who are having to help them through that really, for some of them traumatic or nervous anxiety feelings. It's a working in progress, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed your talk on the Health and Wellbeing Academy last week around that topic. So topical, the timing perfect. People going back to school. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Oh, so lead us into what your business today, how that helps women with their well-being.
Well, what I've done is it's in two ways really. I could say that my business has got two sides to it. So apart from the coaching side of it, I've also become a mental health first aider for adults and for youth. Mm-hmm. I'm also a youth mindfulness practitioner. So what I've found, I've also done CBT and NLP. So through all of this, what I feel is I've got like a toolkit of skills. And so, some people say, oh, you should only have one ideal client. I don't, because I don't feel that I have got so much I can do with young people, but I've also got support I can give to families. So I've got two sides to my business. And in fact, over COVID in particular, so one side of it is actually the communication and presentation and public speaking side, and helping young people, helping adults, female entrepreneurs in particular who resonate with me, helping them with communicating and presenting with confidence, because we have to do it so much now in this online space. And it's really important that we can just sort of like, there is that fear and things holding us back about doing it. And, will I look silly? Will I make a fool of myself? Do I know what to say? Do I know how to say it? And how to structure that talk. So what I do is on that side of the business is I actually work for the Manchester Business School as well. And what that does is it's like, it's a module I do called Leadership as Performance. And what I do is I use all the skills that a performer would use to actually engage with their audience, And that's, I suppose, my USP, in the sense that I can actually use those tools and techniques. Like, how, if you go to theatre, the actors are engaging with you, aren't they? And they use lots of tools. They use their voice, their body language, facial expressions, smiles, everything to engage with you. So what I try and do is apply some of those techniques and help people, support them to learn a few of those techniques so that they can engage, and you can build, you know, sort of meaningful relationships. We all need to sort of build that know, like, trust factor.
Yeah.
And it's important to sort of find ways that you can build rapport, empathy, and all those things with people. So that's one side of my business. So that's the communication side. In terms of, especially, I think also that does link in with mental well-being, because if you're not feeling confident about what you're doing, it does actually undermine a lot of things. And so I feel that I'm helping them not just with confidence in presenting, but it's developing resilience and developing a mindset for success, overcoming any things that are negative. So I do like the resilience. I always do resilience coaching with confidence coaching, and I've done Human Givens resilience coaching, which is basically it's just one way of going about it. And then I help them with managing anxiety and stress, so that, you know, you overcome the nerves, so that before you actually go and do a presentation, you're sort of well prepared, but you also have techniques to handle it. So that's on one side. And then on the young people, so as I said, I'm like a youth and family coach, and this is what I'm doing for the Wellbeing Academy, and as a mental health first aider as well. So what I basically do is, I'm very passionate. I do think there is a mental health crisis amongst young people. I mean, it was that CAMHS have always been struggling to actually manage this. You know, talking therapies are becoming more important, but families are struggling, and COVID has obviously exacerbated that problem. So I do think it's really important that young people do get the support they need moving forward, and especially the parents as well, because they're the ones, like I said, who are managing it. So I help parents and families manage those challenges, whatever they may be. It may be anxiety and stress. It may be, you know, I have worked with people who've had eating disorders, people who have, self-harmed, all sorts. And you know, I won't go into personal situations, but I just basically work with them. I work with in the schools as well, and I have a 360-degree approach. So I'm working with one family at the moment where I'm working with the child, but also the parents. I give that support, so it's an all-round wraparound service, and that way they can feel totally, you know, cocooned and supported. They've got the phone. Yeah. Totally, absolutely. And it's lovely. Sorry, I'm chatting away here.
I'm enjoying listening. There's a couple of things I was going to ask you that you answered anyway. I was wondering, when you said I work with schools, that's so lovely to know that the schools have got somebody that they can reach out to, because they've only got so many resources. As you say, CAMHS is kind of difficult. They're struggling. They've been struggling for a long time to deal with it. And mental health does seem to be more apparent these days than it did perhaps when CAMHS was set up. So yeah. But there's only one of you, is that right, Kalini? How are we going to spread you so thin?
So I was just going to say to you that, just to tell you just a little bit about the schools thing, I've actually written something called the Jigsaw program. Well, it's not written. I've been working in schools for many years, because in fact for 12, 13 years going into schools and doing workshops. It might be they're called TIE topics, so it could be anything like healthy eating, it could be mental well-being, it could be bullying, etc. So what I do is I go into schools doing workshops anyway. Like a typical one would be about confidence, resilience, friendship issues, stress, anxiety, you know, being role models, any topics they want me to work on. So what I've done is I've actually put it into a program called the Jigsaw Project. And what it is effectively they can, if they need support on mental well-being or on confidence or goal setting, they can take 1 or 2 pieces of the jigsaw, or they could take 3 pieces, or they can take 4. And the idea is that schools are now particularly needing this mental well-being support. So what I'm looking at doing is actually taking people on. And so in answer to your question, it's me at the moment, and I've got a VA. And what I'm looking to do is to actually go into schools, but also train the trainer. So I'm going to train the staff in schools so that they can deliver my program, which is already written, it's been developed, it's delivered. And so they can actually train their pupils But also I'm looking at, I'm opening it up now to people who want to actually become people who can actually license it, who can actually go in and deliver it too. So that's an exciting development at the
It
moment.
is very exciting. And is that something new? Have you found that COVID has given you the gift of time to be able to put effort into new programs?
Do you know what? I've actually found COVID really beneficial for me personally. I know it's been stressful for a lot of people, but I have personally found it because I was on this rabbit wheel, you know, sort of hamster wheel, sort of like constantly going and all over the country, delivering in Wales, in Essex, whatever. I found it's given me the time to now really develop my programs and to actually make them so that they are far more accessible, but also write them all up. And I'm putting some of them online. So that's going to make it a bit more accessible to more as well. But yeah, I have actually found it's helped me totally.
I agree. I found it a gift of time for pretty much the same reasons. And yes, there are so many people that have suffered, but I think if you can get something from it, then let's try and get a positive from it. At the end of the day, if we're coming out of it being able to help more people, the wider audience with more to offer, then it has been a gift, hasn't it, really?
It has been. And the thing is that it's nice to be able to know that there are different things I can help in different ways. So I mean, it sounds like I'm doing a lot of different things, but actually I love what I do because there's variety. I haven't actually mentioned I've got an anti-bullying program I wrote, and that was 3 years ago. The Ben Cohen Foundation have been supporting that. It's called Anti-Bullying 360. And the difference with my anti-bullying program, I've delivered it in schools now for 2-3 years. Is it's very hands-on. I go in, I work with young people, and it's all based on values of kindness. And it's actually, if we can get people to think about being kind to each other, you know, it leads to, you know, oxytocin, serotonin levels rising. It leads to that happiness spiral. If you're feeling happy, you're then kinder to other people. And then I talk about, you know, what bullying is and strategies to cope with it. And I also work with all affected by the cycle of bullying and that. So it's not just the person who's a victim, it's the bystander. It's also the parent or the school. It's also the partner. And then I work also with the person who's the perpetrator indirectly through the workshops. So everybody's understanding the importance of actually changing methods of behaviour and strategies to cope. So I've loved in developing actually. And so again, that's part of this Jigsaw program. So because of all these things I can offer, like the confidence, resilience, mindset, values, you know, communication skills, all young people, the Jigsaw program is actually about giving them the life skills, the mental well-being, and the employability skills they need to thrive. I mean, you're a parent, aren't you?
Yeah.
And we've got so many parents out there. At the end of the day, if you're a parent, you want young people you want them to feel safe and secure and being able to have the tools to keep themselves safe and secure, like handle stress, handle difficult friendships. You want them to be able to communicate effectively and make their mark in the world, and you want them to achieve their aspirations. So what the Jigsaw program does, it's got all of those different ingredients, like the strengths and skills and so on. So it's great. And I'm also offering, you know, it's stuff that if I'm working with a family and say they've got a child who's sort of lacking, you know, sort of direction or motivation, it also works with them. So it's a program which now is available universally, and it's lovely actually to be able to deliver it like that.
It's lovely. Your energy when you talk about it, you're obviously very passionate about it. It means a lot to you.
Yeah.
Across, so that's lovely. That's that passion. I'm also sat here thinking while I'm listening that you're giving young people life skills that they can carry with them and continue to use as coping strategies. And you know, these things have been missing from school. I was bullied at school obviously a long time ago, and yes, I'm a parent, so to think that my child may have had to experience what I did, it does make you concerned. But if you know now that there's something you can do to deal with it and something's available, then fantastic. And then they've got that to take forward in their life, how to feel good. And we're less likely in the future, if we start with the younger generation, to have so many mental health issues around in the future, hopefully. Kindness is everything, isn't it? I absolutely agree with that. Kindness costs nothing and it's never wasted, ever. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think kindness, compassion, and then, you know, my like top 5 values are kindness, compassion, integrity, knowledge. You know, it's just so much about an authenticity, and it's all about, you know, being your true self and connecting. But it's also, if you're kind to yourself, kind to others, really everything starts from there. The compassion builds, and it helps with friendships, and it helps just reduce, you know, hatred and all the negative emotions that are out there. Helps you
Yeah.
become a more positive person as well.
Absolutely. You're talking my language. I always make the statement that everything starts with you, and self-love should start with you. Kindness to yourself for you then to be able to love and be loved. So, yeah, very much echo my value
Yeah,
when we're chatting. That's lovely.
yeah.
Absolutely lovely. What does the future look like for Kalini then? How's it look like going forward?
Ooh, I just really want to to make the Jigsaw program available to as many school children and families as possible, and that's what I've been working on recently. Been working actually quite hard during COVID. In fact, I've liked the simplicity of life. I've liked being able to focus on one thing. So yeah, that is where I want to take it. I want to be able to offer, you know, I think that, you know, we still don't know what the future holds for us, do we? We have no idea how long this is going to go on for. So I think we've got to be prepared for a lot more mountains to climb. And life isn't a straight path anyway, is it? It's just not. It just sort of goes up and down, and it's about taking the good and the bad together. And I think it's about building that resilience so that we actually can handle life setbacks, build our confidence. And that's why I really hang on the communication, confidence, resilience is 3 really big things I think
Yeah,
people need to develop.
absolutely. Oh, fantastic.
So I just want to be able to just spread the word, do as much as I can, help people one-to-one, help people one-to-many. I've just done a presentation today in another group, and it's just lovely to be able to just sort of share knowledge and share tips. And
Yeah, sharing best practice, isn't it? Telling people what good looks like and sharing that so they can do the same. That's my corporate head coming back from audit and Ofsted and the client journey. Just ignore me. Okay, super. So you're part of the Network She Health and Wellbeing Academy. As I say, I've enjoyed your 10-minute slots weekly, and I love Wednesdays. I say are my favourite day of the week, and they absolutely are. Wonderful Wellbeing Wednesday. So how's your involvement look going forward in the academy? You're going to be doing some workshops for us.
yes, so I've already offered to Ruth that I'll be doing a workshop on the communication, presentation, confidence side of things. That's during September, but I'm also offering as well, I want to do some workshops on for parent support and offer some more parent support. So we've all got a massive talkative skills. I know some of it overlaps, but I think my focus is mostly on maybe more the family well-being as well as the child. So, you know, you just like we say, we've got to put our own life vest on first in order to support our young people. As families and parents, I think we really, really need to look out for ourselves as well, to make sure that we can be the best version of ourselves to help our young people and to support them. So yeah, I want to make it more of a support I can offer for the families rather than just a child or just a parent.
Lovely.
So I give that all-round support.
Fantastic. We'll look forward to that. So for hints and tips from Kalini, what would you like to offer?
I think I've probably the first one I'd love to suggest is that we remember the positives. I think there've been obviously a lot of negatives with COVID, but I think one of the main ones for me is remember the positives that we've taken from COVID. And for me, it's things like what things became important, like quality time with loved ones, and we hang on to that. So that's my first tip, is that we don't forget, we just take the benefit, the good. And the second one I would love to suggest is I think it's about life balance. And to me, I've done articles on this. Life balance isn't about equal time to things, but it's about getting a balance of what makes you happy and what gives you fulfillment. And I think it's about realizing for me, I had a frantic lifestyle and I don't want to go back to that. So I'm going to make that a priority. So that's like life balance. I've got a few more, not too long. One of them is to live for today And I think that, you know, be mindful of being, and this is my mindfulness hat on now, mindful of being present and enjoying what we've got now as far as possible. And I know we always have to look ahead a bit, but you know, we've seen how precious life is, so it's enjoying now, you know, because we just don't know what's around the corner.
Absolutely, yeah.
Another one is, my fourth one is practice. I've got 6. Practice kindness,
Yeah,
especially to yourself. And I think that it's this life vest thing, you know, we need to be kind to others, but I think we also need to take time out, quell that and quieten that negative inner voice of ours, which is soft sometimes, like, you know, sort of putting us down, telling us we're not good enough, we're rubbish and all that sort of stuff. I do remember you talking about that one morning too, which, so we talk the same language. So I do think it's about making sure we're kind to ourselves, making sure we're doing the self-care, we're doing the, you know, sufficient sleep and exercise, all the things we're told. But we sometimes don't make it a priority because we get too busy. So I know I'm guilty of that. So it's about the healthy diet and relaxation and stuff. And then my last one is find ways to de-stress. And I think that is so important, you know, whether it's a book, meditation, out in nature, going for a walk, breathing techniques, anything. But I think it is about well-being. That is all well-being package, really. If we all did that.
Yeah, the world would be a better place, wouldn't it, Kalini? That's my motto. Do more, find what makes you happy and do more of that. Simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
The simple lifestyle. Yeah, fabulous hints and tips. Really, really, really enjoyed our conversation, Kalini, and look forward to your involvement in the academy going forward. And our wonderful Wellbeing Wednesday, 10 minutes.
I know. Thank you. It's been so lovely getting to know you as well over the last few weeks, and just chatting and getting to know everybody in the academy. It's just such a wonderful group. Well done, Ruth.
Yeah,
it's just
amazing, isn't it?
An amazing community, really. Because there are other groups out there, but I think this one's got something special about it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, Ruth's certainly, she just had her 13th birthday, so she certainly knows what she's doing. So we're in the right camp, I would say, definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, our paths are bound to cross at some point or another, and I'll certainly bump into you anyway on our Wellbeing Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much there, Michelle. Take care. Oh, my love, everyone. Bye.